Hey everybody, my name is Martyr, and this is Let's Play Galcon Legends. Galcon is a RTS style game, but not the traditional sense that you would expect from most RTSs. This isn't like StarCraft or the Total War series. You're not going to be building bases or collecting resources, but you will be commanding a large amount of troops in this game. The game was released on Steam January 2014, and it was published and developed by Yehaaw Enterprises Incorporated. And it is now available for purchase for $9.99. Now, if you're not familiar with the Galcon games, like I was when I first got my hand on it, it's okay. Neither was I. I researched it myself. Apparently, this is an entire type of gameplay that came out of the Ludum Dare scene and kind of evolved from there. If you're not familiar with what Ludum Dare is basically where they try to make a game, the best game they can within a certain amount of time, like a day or three, and then it's kind of like a giant contest for anybody to kind of participate in. But yeah, Galcon came kind of quickly out of that scene, became its own series of games ranging from the iOS to PC to Mac. It's kind of like a fungus. It's just growing outward, infecting all of these systems out there. Now, while there is minor differences between all of them, when it comes down to it, Galcon basically wants you to conquer the galaxy with a shitload of triangles. Simplistic? Maybe. Easy? No. The game requires a bit of strategy, a little bit of luck. In this edition of Galcon Legends puts you in the role of a, if I remember correctly, space debt collector. And essentially your shenanigans across the galaxy as you try to collect your debt. And, well, the story isn't really the main point here. It's not the focus. It is cute, though, and the art isn't bad. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's like these little intermission scenes where you have like about 6 lines of dialogue, and then the actual story, the strategy part of the game takes place. So anyways, let's jump into the gameplay here so you can see what I'm talking about here. I've actually played about halfway through the game. I've played maybe about an hour and a half at the most, and that's because I took my sweet time playing the game itself. Just a couple things for you to know here. This is the game itself right here. There's about 23 levels if I remember correctly, and on the top left over here, we have the kind of like, I guess you could say, the difficulty slider almost, going all the way from cabin boy all the way to captain, which is the highest rank I've managed to get to. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to keep it rather simplistic. I just want to show you the game, show the game off, show you what it's like. This is what I was talking about when I said there's just kind of this little 6 lines of dialogue and this little cute stylized art. It's kind of neat. I appreciate that it's there, even if it isn't necessarily the main focus of the game. I'm glad that they added it. Anyways, I don't give a rip out of civil what the Interstellar Feed Co-op says I owe. You won't get a wooden nickel out of me. Now this is kind of just the explanation, kind of a tutorial part of the game. But essentially this is Galcon right here. Now before we get into this game and I start showing you things, if you look to your right here, there is a slider. And it says 30%, and if I roll my mouse wheel, you'll see that it actually gets higher or lower. And what that does is actually determine how much troops you're going to be sending from your planet, the one you click on, towards a direction. For instance, I just sent about 55% of my forces from this planet to that planet. And that is just the essentially raw, simplistic nature of the game. Now, there's quite a different few ways of going about things. You can double click and collect all your planets and send all your forces towards a planet. You could click only 2 planets and have them send a fraction of their forces. And you could say 40% from each planet, 35% each planet. Or you could say, you know what, I want to send all of my forces from this planet. I have no fear that it's going to get conquered. And send it towards this planet. And then all of them will head in that direction. And of course go in that direction. You can also right click a planet and send your forces back to where they came from. You don't necessarily have to conquer a territory, I guess you could say. I sent some of my forces back here. So a couple things to know here. There is also kind of a neat feature in this game, which I like a lot. If you are tired of this map style, you can actually just go ahead and hit New Map, and it will generate an entire other galaxy for you to conquer, an entire different configuration for you to try out. And while this is actually, sometimes this is actually a good idea because you may find a map that you may not like. So anyways, my objective obviously is to, well, aside from conquering as many planets as possible, to annihilate my enemy. And what I like about this game, where the strategy part comes from, is you don't necessarily have to start aiming for your enemy. You can start aiming for different planets and just try to conquer as much of known space as possible. Well, of course, your enemy here is trying to annihilate you from existence. But I think it adds a very deep strategy element to the game that I really enjoy quite a bit, actually. I'm going to go ahead and send some forces there to back up that planet, and then I'm going to go ahead and conquer that one. But as you can see, the game basically has this really kind of deep strategy as you progress further into the game. Don't mind the speed of which this is going right now. This is literally on the easiest difficulty. This is just for you to learn how to play the game, the mechanics of how to manipulate the controls, and isn't necessarily even isn't there to challenge you. Trust me when I say the game is very challenging, actually, on the single player mode. And actually becomes somewhat of a bit of a strategic nightmare if you don't know what you're doing. I'm okay at the game. I do fairly well, I think. But the game basically, at times, depending on the difficulty level, can become a little bit of a click fest. And you kind of lose, at least for me, I feel like I lose that bit of strategy when it comes to the game itself. I'm going to go ahead and conquer every planet except that his last one, because I just want to show you this humongous force that you can launch towards this guy. I hope my game doesn't crash by doing this. I don't think so, though. I think we'll be okay. So as you can see, I pretty much have about 100 or so troops across every planet now here. And I'm just going to say, launch everything we have at him. And basically all of my forces go and try to annihilate his planet, which is absolutely hilarious to watch. Good lord, that's a lot of ships on one planet. And there you go, we've conquered it. Oh, we did not. There you go, he's dead. But yeah, you can see how the strategy part of the game works out. You kind of move your forces from place to place. There is a leaderboard in the game itself. And I don't really understand how it works, to be honest with you. But apparently you can, I guess this is the highest rank right here. You can kind of join the top of the leaderboard, collect how many points you have, and how fast and long it took you to beat the board. I have no idea exactly how it works, but you know, there's that aspect to the entire things. Every time you beat one of the levels, it's going to ask you if you want to increase the difficulty, which I'll just go ahead and do, and I'll play a second level for you, just to give you a little bit more of an idea what the game is like. Sorry, man, the Intergalactic Seed Corporation doesn't accept excuses as currency. Mrs. Magpie has a decent understanding of basic strategy, but she carefully picks good high production, low cost planets that are nearby. Mimic her strategy when it comes to attacks. Be sure to take her planets when you think they have few ships on them So yeah, obviously the bigger the planet, the more ships it is going to produce, just to let you know. And you want to take each planet with as little forces as possible if you can. So that way you can keep the bulk of your forces on one planet, not lose that force, obviously. They're going to attack me? No, they're attacking that planet right there. And, of course, start continually producing massive amounts of troops. Now, it looks like she might be heading some forces towards me. I'm going to go ahead and back that planet up. Well, hopefully... Oh, I did not take that planet. That sucked. Alright, so basically, yeah, most of the time you're going to want to hit medium-sized planets. You're also going to want to try to stay within your own galaxy. Because if you start taking planets very far away from you, you can get quickly overwhelmed and kind of annihilated if you're not careful. Alright. So as you can see, she's checking that planet right now. She's devoting quite a bit of forces to that planet. I'm going to go ahead and kind of launch a united attack on that planet and take it from her, even though she just took mines. That female dog. She shall die by my hand. I'm also going to send some forces back up these planets over here because I have a large contingent of forces just sitting back there kind of not doing anything. Oh, they took that planet from me. She is evil. I'm going to go ahead and increase the amount of forces I'm going to be moving here as I try to destroy her. But yeah, you could, of course, you can click your troops several different ways. You can drag and drop. You can individually add planets to your attack if you want. You're like, okay, well, I want this planet, this planet, this planet. to attack that one. The game gives you a veritable way of controlling your ships and your planets. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kick her ass here because she's kind of annoying me. You go ahead and take mostly her large production planets. You go ahead and take that planet. Take that planet. Back that planet up. Take that one. But as you can see, the game basically has you you have to keep your eye on several different locations at once, and it is not always easy, to say the least. Let's go there. Alright. So far, we've conquered most of the galaxy here. I want to make sure that I finish her off. The game, graphically wise, is obviously not that very complicated. I mean, the graphics are smooth, they work, but it's not necessarily the most impressive thing in the universe that you're looking at here. The music is nice, though. It has this, like, Tron-esque feel to it. It kind of reminds me of like some Daft Punk video. But all in all, it's not bad music. But as you can see, the game's difficulty rank goes up and up and up. I'm going to show you the board that I am, which probably means I'm going to lose. I'm going to leave it on Lieutenant, which is kind of the halfway point for me right now, at least. Just to give you an example of how complicated the game gets on later on. Right now, I'm facing these two opponents who are called the Phantom, and I forgot what this other guy's called. He wears like a banjo. And the Phantom's troops you cannot see. They're invisible. And the banjo dude's troops are extra fast, as you will see. It says, Phantom, you're totally in violation of the anti-cube zoning laws. I'm taking you down a peg. The Phantom and Banjo King are brawling and you get in the way. Since it's a free-for-all, you need to be careful what planets you take. Try taking over the small planets while your enemies waste ships fighting over the big ones. Watch the balance of play so neither of your opponents gains a big advantage. Try not to take planets that are under attack. So as you can see, I have several small planets here and there around the galaxy. I'm going to try to spread my forces, taking these unknown planets and trying to stay off the radar as much as humanly possible. Of course, that will not be easy because the computer can be a little bit of, well, dicks. But yeah, as long as they kind of ignore my existence, I think we'll be okay. And we don't necessarily have to piss anyone off too much to take a planet, as it were. Oh, they took one of mine. That's okay, though. I'm going to go ahead and boost my account here to... Oh, he took back that planet up. I was not expecting that. That was a good call. Alright, we're going to have to start clicking several planets here, start taking them down. Taking them out, as it were. Give me your ships. Okay. Now, so far, actually, I'm doing fairly okay. Most of the time, I did god-awful at this level, to be honest with you. So I'm actually kind of impressed that I'm still, well, alive at this point, to be honest with you. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and back this planet up here. Back it up again. Come on. Oh, good lord. That sucked. That's okay, though. Alright, back this planet up. It's going to need some defense here. But yeah, you can see the game kind of has this strategy aspect to it all. It gets very, very, very complicated very, very quickly. If you're not careful, you can be overwhelmed very quickly by your enemy's forces. And it looks like they are definitely trying to overwhelm me for sure. But yeah, some of the boards can be rather long. Oh boy. That was dangerous. I was not expecting that counterattack. That sucked. I'd like that planet, sir. As you can see, I'm kind of getting my ass kicked right now. I only have like these 4 planets here. I'm actually going to just... Oh my god. Try to stay off the radar. Oh, he's eliminated the Phantom. So that's why... Yeah, he's going to just wipe my ass out. He destroyed the enemy, and now he has all the planets. He wins. That's game over for me. But as you can see, yeah, the game kind of gets difficult. It's challenging. There's a lot of strategy to the game. Manipulating your forces, making sure you're sending out the right amount of troops, and kind of doing it all very well. I'm going to try again, but this time I want to show you something, kind of that new map feature. Like I said, if you don't like the map that you're given, you can hit new map, and it kind of shifts things around a little bit till a configuration you find that you like. I'm going to try to maintain the balance, as it were, and try to kick Yellow's ass, to be honest with you, because he has way too many forces. But at the same time, like I said, you got to maintain a balance here, because if you don't, well, either purple will dominate or yellow will dominate. So we got to make sure to keep the balance, as it were, while trying to destroy my enemy as much as humanly possible. I did not mean to do that. That was my mistake. Alright, let's take that one. Very good. Get some forces generating there. Oh, good lord. Okay. I'm going to try to back that planet up as much as possible. The larger the planet, of course, the more forces you get from it, so it's always ideal to try to hold on to a bigger planet. Even if it isn't necessarily always possible, it's always... Oh my god, are you serious? Of course, they're going to be battling like crazy for the bigger planets, and it looks like purple is currently dominating, so I'm actually going to want to start picking on his forces, even though he's kicking my ass. Alright, we're going to have to start taking this guy down a peg here if we can. I don't think I'm going to win this one, but I'm certainly going to give it a shot. Oh my god. Okay, come on. This probably isn't the best strategy for me right now, but looks like purple's going to get annihilated here, and then quickly so am I. So, yeah, I don't really think there's anything much I can do. Let's just all head towards this planet. Try to survive as humanly possible. I think we're dead. We're dead. Yep, we're dead. So as you can see, the game is just rather difficult, guys. It can be kind of a challenge for sure. But yeah, all in all, Galcon Legends is a very enjoyable game. It's a good click fest, good strategy game, all in all. The graphics are nice, the music's good, there's a lot of strategies to the game. The game is lacking in multiplayer. But otherwise, that's kind of like one of my only gripes. Galcon Legends isn't the world's longest game also, but if you're a fan of maybe the tactical fast-paced strategy games, or hell, maybe you're just a fast clicker, then yeah, go ahead and pick up this game. From a technical standpoint, Galcon seems very impressive. I don't know how to make a game, nor can I imagine the algorithm and math that went into making this game, so kudos to Phil for that. My only other wish is, of course, that this game had multiplayer. I think that a game like this would truly shine if there was other players trying to strategize and attacking each other. It would really do well if this game had multiplayer. From what I understand, though, other Galcon games do feature multiplayer, so this may be something they will add to it one day. My only other gripe about this game is it being a solely single-player game. As you ramp up the difficulty, I feel as if I'm trying to outclick the computer, and the strategy of the game is kind of lost. Which I'm sure is... I'm sure many people have found a way around of doing that. I mean, they've found a way of playing the game. I'm not the world's fastest clicker, is what I guess what I'm trying to say. These are not discredits to the game, and they're mostly my own personal gripes. They're not reflecting the game. So if you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and pick up this game on Steam. Big thanks to the developer. Remember to like, subscribe, and share for more future IndieView reviews. And this has been Let's Play Galcon Legends.